I gotta dial in, man. I gotta lock in right now because I'm a little distracted. I'm just a little distracted here this morning. Gotta lock in. So, good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back to another live session. I'm gonna shout out the stream and we should be good to go. I'm gonna turn off this fan as well because this fan is pretty loud. All right, welcome back. It's another beautiful day. As you guys are tuning in, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, check out the disclaimer, which is currently on screen, reminding you guys that my results are not typical. Day trading is risky business. Copy trading does not work. Copy trading does not work here. You know, you might say, man, this guy, he's green every day. He look like he's making this, that. Let me just try to buy where he's buying. If you try it, you will lose money. Don't say I didn't tell you. So at least don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your energy, your attention. But instead, direct your energy, your attention, your money towards learning, right? Towards learning. Learn how to fish on your own so that you never need to even watch this live stream again, right? You can just do it on your own. So keep that in mind. And lastly, I do not invest for my subscribers, all right? Remember that I will never message you first, ever. I will never message you first, ever, ever. And today I got on the nice white Relentless Trading t-shirt. Looking pretty stylish here, as always. You can't go wrong with a Relentless t-shirt, right? Because last year I was supposed to release them for the holidays, Christmas, right? So I think this year we're going to keep the same agenda. Last year, the company that we partnered with, you know, things were going great up until the last stages and we had to scrap the deal. But, you know, we'll see how things go this time and we'll make it happen, right? That way you guys can also get a nice Relentless Trader mug to drink your coffee, your tea. I'm a hot chocolate kind of guy. All right, with that being said, let's jump into our watch list. What's moving, what's not. I see some talks of trader rehab. Yeah, let's get into the watch list. I wonder if CTV is a buyout. I wonder, it might be. It might be a buyout the way how the stock is looking. But anyhow, so let's put everything. CTD, CTD, WORX. What? Am I sending trades? Oh, not good. Cancel, cancel. Ship C. My goodness. Oh my gosh. CTV. WORX. AKTS. There's also CRKN as a maybe. And then let's just check the scans right now. SPAI. Well, SPAI definitely will have to go on this list now that I'm seeing it. And QUBT. Maybe QUBT can go on this list as well for continuation. Well, the list is going to be a little long. Let's see. I think these are my top. So the top ones are going to be in front, and then the like back and half are going to be the maybes. CDT. So I'm going to post this to the chat room and the YouTube stream. All right. So let me pull up SPAI on screen here. Or it looks like we might be back into our higher price stocks again. QUBT is my guess. Yeah, it looks like we might be back into our higher price stocks. A bit of a change in pace. So my top three, I believe, are going to be SPAI, QUBT, and CDT. I think those are going to be my top three. QUBT more so continuation, but you know. All right, I'm going to start off with SPAI and make my way through the list. Am I in Discord? I don't think I am. Let me just jump in here.
BLEU, BLEUR, BLEUU, BLEUW.
SPAI was at 600? What's this thing showing? E-Trade doesn't have history. Anyhow, so we got a pre-market high at 7. And we recently broke out over 650. So it'd be great to see if it holds up 650 here to start. So far, so good. It's a nice move. You know, it seems like it's been trading with decent volume going since 8 a.m. So the early pre-market traders definitely might have gotten something here, which is good. This sets the tone a little coming into the day. Stock up 100%, people in pre-market doing well. And the hope here is, of course, this carries over into the open so that we can see some continuation, whether from this stock or other stocks in the first 2 hours. So SPAI looking pretty good. My daily chart, as mentioned, is a little skewed. I'm not sure what's going on here. Yeah, my daily chart is like, I'm not sure what's up with it. I'm not sure if this is a recent IPO or if it's had a name change or sold off. But I'm not really seeing much to gather from the daily chart here. So I'll just have to go with the flow and utilize my other instruments, such as level 2 and my good intuition to see, you know, and perhaps determine resistance as we go. So I like to call it playing it by ear, right? As we move higher and higher, if there's levels that are just obvious with specific types of candlesticks, shooting stars, rejection candlesticks, reverse hammers, things like that, that can be a good sign that okay, you know, maybe we're seeing resistance. And for now, $7 is a bit of a high point with a doji candle on the 5. So it came up nicely, but then we had some indecision and we're pulling back a bit. So that's SPAI, perhaps the main stock of the day to watch at, for now at least. Moving on to QUBT. It's only up 13%. A lot of people might not be watching at it right away, but I do like this one for potential continuation. Yesterday did move up a little bit. It all comes down to the volume and how obvious it is. If nobody's looking at it and it's not super obvious, then I have no business being here because then the volume will just be too light. 469 was the high point from a few days ago, last Thursday. So can we, in today's levels, you know, today's candlesticks get up there, right? Can we retest 469? We're currently at 417 for QUBT. The volume, so far so good. It's decent. It all comes down to if we can continue the uptrend, right, in the first 2 hours of the day. I think there could be some opportunities here. But if this one isn't strong, I can always sub it out for a different stock, right? So moving on, there's CDT. CDT is up 61% with 200 million shares of volume. And we had a high point of 22. So it's almost down like 50% since the highs. Recently it did pop a little, but nothing significant in terms of where we were for high of day. CDT, this one is sub $1, down here around 14 cents. I believe we did trade this one a few weeks ago. If I'm not mistaken. 1574 on the daily is a bit of a higher volume candle going back to October 11th. 1574. Seems like that's where we kind of ran into this resistance. So short sellers could be in control here. It's very possible, very likely. Other than that, if it is to get over the pre-market highs, 41 cents will be the target, which goes back to August 8th of this year. That day we had 400 million shares of volume. If you guys are to look at your daily chart for August 8th and October 11th, those are the two blue levels I have.
BLEUU.
All right, so far so good. As you guys are tuning in, hit that thumbs up. Sheldon, I gotta send you that. I gotta send you a link. Last night I remembered and then I forgot. Gotta send you that link. But yeah, so these are the couple of stocks we're watching at. Those are my top three, let's say. In terms of the others, let's just refer to them as others. By the way, before I continue, there was something that I did, which was I reduced my cash balance in my account because remember yesterday I was saying if I go from a penny stock over to a regular price, let's say $5 stock, it's possible that I forget to change my share size and I buy like 50,000 shares. I reduced my account, so like hopefully my order will just get rejected. But they still give you buying power, like ×2, ×4, sometimes other platforms even ×6. But hopefully my order just gets rejected because this has happened to me before where like I switch over and then I didn't have the time to check, or let's say the move was happening so quick where I just bought without checking my size, and then before you know it, it's like you could be in way over leveraged, and God forbid the stock ends up like false breakout, hard drop, then do I need to be down 50,000 in one trade? That would be that would not be good. So I reduce my cash in hopes that that doesn't happen. And maybe I should even put it even lower than what it is, but at least a step in the right direction. But the main thing is to remember to change share size if we're switching back and forth utilizing the same order entry window. Yeah, so moving on to the other stocks. Taking a quick look at AKTS. Let's see, AKTS. This one is up 25%, 130 million shares of volume. Might not seem like much, but sometimes these penny stocks, again, they don't need to be much if they're trading with some good volume and going sideways, right? So we'll see. Man, every time I walk off screen is because I have a cold and I have to clear my nose every time. But yeah, so this one doesn't look like much, but sometimes you never know which one can be the strong stock, and so I like to just put everything in my recents. At least that way I can pull it up quickly, and if I'm doing a rotation, if it's moving up, I can see it. 34.81, 200 EMA on the daily. Other than that, it looks decent. If we can get a push, that'll be good. So what else do we have here? We have CTV, which I think is a buyout. This looks like I don't really need to read the news to see. I was curious because earlier I just only saw this, but this looks like it's a straight buyout, which means the price will just go sideways. There's not going to be any sort of volatility. I've only seen I think one of these stocks ever. Or was it two? Maybe it was two, but maybe like one or two of these stocks in like the 5 years I've been trading. ever move out of a range. And that the one that did it was cool. Like it went crazy. Like I forgot what like they had another headline. They had another headline, and then the stock I think maybe went from like 4 to like 10 or 12 or something like that. But yeah, this looks like a buyout, so we'll skip over this one. But I'll take a quick sec to start up my screen recording. That way I can come back and study up later. All right. Let's see. Of course, for those of you who are in MMU, make sure that you are recording your screen. It is mandatory. It is mandatory to record your screens. Okay, let's see. WORX. How's this one looking? If you want to be a successful trader, and this goes for the YouTube audience too, if you want to be a successful trader, you need to treat it like a business. And every business in the world that's successful is keeping track of data because you need to know what works and what doesn't. And when you go back and watch yourself, it's almost like the perspective of a coach on the sideline, right? Right now, we're like a player in the game. But when you can go back and watch yourself from the sidelines, you can see the mistakes a little more clearly at times. Because, in the moment, everything is so fast, so quick. But when you go back and watch, you can see things, make adjustments, see what's working well that you can double down on, things that you might want to change, eliminate, stuff like that. You have to keep track of the ongoing data and the ongoing changes in the markets so that you can be on top. That along with keeping track of your metrics, right? Whether you're using there's a bunch of platforms, and there's some people even in our own community who are making platforms, right? So even if you're using Excel, it doesn't matter as long as you're tracking your performance and having data to help you, see what's working well. So WORX again, this one is more so like a maybe. The 200 EMA on the daily is at 169. I've traded this stock multiple times in the past. It's popped up and sold off quite a few times. So I don't know what to expect. Maybe it goes up and just sells off, but if it ends up being strong, which is possible, then we'll switch over to this one and trade it, trade the setups, let's say 309. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, likewise for Twitch, Facebook. This is why sometimes my PC is under stress because I'm doing all this, right? I'm streaming to those 3 platforms, plus I'm streaming to the chat room, and I have a couple brokers open. I have scanners and all these stuff. My computer is doing well, but maybe in the next 2 years time we update it just to stay ahead of the curve. So Relentless, which one of these stocks is looking the best to probably trade right into the open? QUBT is uptrending, but the volume is lighter. I don't know if it'll be as obvious. I think SPAI might be the safest bet. It might be the most volatile one to start. And then I can rotate to some of the cheaper stocks depending on, what's moving and what's not. I'm going to give the scans one last look. I think I'm on top of everything that's moving, which is good. Now it's a matter of being, there's a 2-minute warning. It's a matter of being disciplined. It's a matter of being patient. It's a matter of understanding the strategy that you're trading and then executing, right? So there are different people out there who are trading different strategies. And so, can you stay on track? Can I stay on track? Can we all stay on track for what our strategy is? For me personally, and for our students, we have the stocks right now that we believe can be volatile, that can offer opportunities. They have lower floats, the whole nine. The percentage on these stocks are high. They have volume. They're liquid. Now, can we see proper setups? Can we position ourselves in areas where the risk is low and the reward high, right? Downside risk limited, the move that can go up, you know, exponential perhaps. Or at least let's say we aim for that 2 to 1, right? Hey, if I'm risking 5 cents here, can I make that 10 cents? If I'm risking 2 cents, can I make 4 to 6 to 8 cents on the trade? So in terms of share size, you know, it's there's no time like today to be aggressive and to keep pushing forward, right? Upwards and onwards we go, and so let's do what's necessary to ensure success. Whatever it's necessary to ensure success. And so also versus prior days, let's implement the things that we've noticed to have that better outcome, right? Those adjustments, those tweaks, any small changes. SPAI has been selling off since $7. Will we see a bounce into the open? Another beautiful day. Here we go.
BNDC.
My level 2 always gives me problem at the open. Why?
SKK.
Oh, that's a big burst right there. Not quite over 50, which is fine. I bought twice by, oh my god, that's not good. I bought twice by accident. That's gonna be a much bigger loss than I would have wanted. It's fine. 590 the low. A little jittery with my hotkey right there. The low is 88. And we 65. Are we gonna get halted down? Which is at 56. This might get halted down. Well, I would have liked if I'd only took a smaller loss here, but you know, it's fine. I was aiming for 610 area for like a double bottom, 605. I'm doing a rotation here. Let's see what else is moving. There are a few halted stocks. Let me just turn down the scan just a little bit. QUBT volume lower. SPAI. WORX moving a little bit. Also, how's the cheaper stock? WORX from 68 to 85. The cheaper stock, the volume seems a little lighter for now. So I'm not seeing anything strong yet. I can double check in the chat on the scans. See what the team is looking at. I do like the resumption on SPAI. I think it should be good. I think we can get ourselves back to flat if it goes well. Slower start here to the day. Seems like some of the guys are scalping Nvidia. Yeah, you know, earnings yesterday. I have shares in that company, but I honestly should have. I'm way undersized. I should have been in with like 1,000 shares minimum. You know, this I think so far my if I'm to say that I have a regret this year, it's like not being more aggressive with swings. like I had to call out from my source, and I do have a source. I'm not gonna say what that is, but you have to do your own research. Like I don't blindly copy or follow anybody same way, just like how I say here in this stream. So if something to me sounds good, then I do my research, and then if I like it, I look at the trade. But I didn't take the trade with size, so I'm in there. But Pastor in with baby size. What time is this resumption? Because 36:38. I don't know if WORX is gonna go. It could.
TCE.
There's 90. I'm gonna give it a chance to open up. I want to take more size, but we'll see here. All right. If it comes back down, I'll try a bigger position. It looks like it's a slow grinder, which is not really ideal. It's gonna require that longer hold time. To
BNDC.
what time? What's the time? Time is 35:30. So we got like a minute. Are we holding or are we not? $36. Resumption is coming up.
UPLD.
Uh-oh, it's coming down. Resumption is coming up. And there is a couple seconds. Sorry, up here. SPAI. 5:56. There's 10 seconds or so.
TRFX.
Here we go. Is it 10 minutes or is my math off here? 35, 36, 38, 36. Why are we having 10 minutes for this? All right.
AHT.
Well, I'm red 1K here to start, which isn't really great.
TRAB.
I would have been down like 400 on the other stock, or maybe 350. The hotkey errors, that was definitely a problem there. I think there was a day this happened to me where I was still in a position. I think it was the same thing because I could see that, WORX back at 190, but what is it going to be this time? Fooled me once, shame on you. Better not fool me a second time. That's just not good business. Come on, come on, I'll add big here. Talk to me, talk to me. Talk to me. And she's blazing me. Oh, still trying. It's just such a choppy stock here. It might open up and be better. But for now, it's, not quite pulling away. WORX. I don't want to get too red here to start, so I need to be careful. I think I'll wait for above 95. Like we're seeing some small bits there. It's still not, pushing it up. Resumption will be at 41.38. Doesn't seem convincing. It's a good bounce back to 90, but like it's struggling. Maybe okay, okay. I'm missing CDT. Crap. Switching over. Right in front of my eyes, man. Missing this red to green. Oh man. What was that from? The CDT.
TCF.
Over 95? How's this one doing? Seems like it's still struggling. Okay, okay. All right. Switching over to CDT. All about finding a strong stock, really, right now. 41.38 for resumption.
SKK.
I should have noticed this right away, man. I'd have been back green already. Okay.
SKK. PRFX.
30, let's see, 41. We got about 38 seconds to that resumption. I might trade it off screen.
UPLD.
All right, I'll trade a resumption quickly off screen and then come back to CTD. CDT. We got 8 seconds. We're at 5:56. Here we go.
SPAI.
Oh, you son of a... Well, I lost another 700. Great trade. I got filled in the highs, whatever. All right, coming back.
AHT.
Man, that's highway robbery. That is highway robbery. I tried to insta-buy the lows, and I thought I was fairly quick, but perhaps not. WORX, how are we doing? Even though the diff stock is just... Come on. Alright, that's better. Oh, 36. There was a seller there. It's halting up. Alright, this is good.
COTX.
False halt. Sellers 36. I'm gonna pull it up when I can. Holy fuck. Man, this freaking thing on screen. I gotta stop cussing. I just got this freaking order entry window thing, man. Okay. The halt is now 50. Can we get locked in 50? WORX. I'm using 5K size, so like I need to not have issues here. Probably should be using more size.
WORX.
SPAI, I'm down 1400, right? Here's the thing: if I got the fill and got the exit, I was red 800. I would have been red maybe 200, or probably yeah like 200. And it's like such a big difference from this nonsense that just happened here. But you smile and you move on. All part of the business. Now the day is now starting though. Now it's time for the playoffs. Playoffs begins. Prime time. Now I'm going Super Saiyan right now. The moon is calling my name.
SKK. PRFX.
Hmm. Feels. My level 2 is working, but it's worth mentioning that I have an older model of DAS, an older version. But this particular version gives me trouble into the open like every day. The first 30 seconds, the bid and ask price are usually inverted. What I'll do, I'll post the screen recording. Time resumption time will be 49:34. And maybe I'm missing a little bit of CDT red to green here. It's a small, I mean, it's a decent move actually. 49.34.
CATX.
$49.34. We got about 34 seconds till greatness. Super Bowl time. World Cup. Finals. Ice water coursing through my veins. And I accept the risk. Let me make sure I say I accept the risk because 10 seconds. We're at 250. Here we go.
WORX.
I don't think I got the fills. I definitely didn't. Man, no man. It's kind of choppy. Maybe needed to hold that longer. Maybe.
IBG.
It just seems so thick. There's a small bid. Let's see if this helps us out. Over 50. There's 49. The fills are not great. This is nothing more than a disaster of a stock as far as I can see. I don't know, it's a little clunky. The fills are not good. Unless it pulls away again for a big move. Not seeing much here. I've sized down back to 2,500. It's moving like how it was moving at 190. Okay, can we pull away?
SKK.
Dip, 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 dip. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. I had a great trade I could have took there, and I went for a small bid. Not good. What was that, 70? Gotta be patient at least. Not force it.
SKK.
There's a little bit of lag. It better curl up here. 48. Alright, sizing down. Sizing down. I'm easing off. Red 2K. Red 2K. Not good. Nothing good from the resumption, or I'll say after resumption. Checking the scans.
IBG.
This looks more than interesting. MSTZ needs to be a little quicker just now, man. 76. And they're buyers. I'm gonna chase it. Struggling though. Yeah, I'm watching MSTZ from now. I should have I should have been a little quicker when I pulled it up. Could have did well early. We'll see if this one does get to $1 eventually. There's a lot of big sellers, big buyers still.
SKK.
Come on. 74. At this rate, I'm gonna have to shut it down and get out of here. Still early, but we'll see. I would have loved to pull this one up a little sooner though. Like down there at like 65. But opportunity will cost, always. The high's at 76. We're on a consolidation. Just watching the range. Hoping the consolidation continues higher. Are they walking up the ladder? Holy smokes, they are. Crap. Wow. That was impressive. Kind of chasing it. Man. Oh, they're still. That's it. That was interesting. Because that order wasn't that big. Oh man. Woo. That was nice. That was nice. It's like I saw the order come back up, and I'm like, we already went up a cent. The order's kind of still here. Well, we haven't experienced no real selling to even see if they'll get fill. But it wasn't that big of a position. But the first time I saw it, though, I could have been in. That was the catch there. 79. $78 for. Bro, I gotta try and build something here. Come on, come on. 8. 8. Oh, 8, 5. It's not really pulling away at 8. Do we need to dip? Try it again. Oh man, it's like the winning trades that I'm like I can see the fills here are just not as good though. Like the winning trades I'm getting, they're not adding up to anything. But then you catch a small loss and then you're in the depths. Maybe I need to use even more size. I don't care what it is, man. It's more this thing is flying. Yeah, it's only up 2%, but the volume. I mean, there's opportunities. It's moving like a normal stock, as far as I can see. Dang, 84. Holy smokes. Wherever the momentum is where I need to be, brother. Well, I'm not doing super well on it, but I will admit that it's giving good moves. I think Spartan had a nice trade there just now as well. We might be in a bit of a pullback. The 5-minute candlestick is still strong, but we'll see. Low, 79.3. Well, as of right now, red day recap. Down, let's check. Down 2K. Not great, not great. We had a bit of a hotkey mistake earlier that cost us a lot more than we would have liked. SPAI resumption lower. We had a high fill into the moon where we should have had a good trade. WORX resumption, somewhat similar. I mean, how at least 50-60% of the losses here has just been, you know, fills. And then WRX wasn't that strong, I'd say, overall. I mean, we did get a good break of 2 area. From there, the halt up, and then the resumption I did not think was smooth. Now I'm wrestling with MSTC. Trying again. And no bounce. Okay, maybe I don't trade whatever this thing is, because it's usually on the penny stocks, it's green instantly. And we're struggling here. There were some good dips. There were some good dips. The momentum is so slow that we're trading an ETF. Maybe that's a problem. I'm gonna check again here. Let's just check everything. SURG.
SKK.
SKK. WRX disappointing. The stock does have a history of popping up and selling off, so I guess no surprise. No surprise. If I don't see anything on this thing soon, I'm just gonna ease off and wait on the sidelines. Come on. Bounce like the wind. Instead, it's right back down. 82. Does the wind bounce? I don't know. 83, 10, 82. If you can time the dips properly on this thing, it could be good. But you gotta get the dips properly. $81.5. We just had a new high and then it's back down, so could be setting up for a reversal. All right, there's nothing in small cap land as far as I can see. Is this an appropriate time to shut it down? Perhaps. But I'd like to see if something else can come in like the next 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. Next hour, maybe. Maybe we get a strong stock to come a little later into the day. QUBT honestly hasn't been bad, at least on a 5-minute chart. We'll see. We'll take a closer look. I did not look at SKK. SKK, how we're doing? Well, the volume, not the best. I mean, it's moved up, but QUBT needs the 5-minute candle to make the new high, and it needs to be strong. It needs to hold. Right now, it has a range to the downside that I do not like. It's like I can see myself buying 86 and then stock is back at 72. So we need to see more bidders, bigger buyers. It's 10:15 a.m. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Right now we're at 2K and waiting patiently. Right. QBT coming down a bit. AKTS, can we see something? Maybe, maybe not. MSTZ, back. Actually, could have probably went short on that. There's probably shares available. SPAI. Man, I just despise to be down like this on a stock. Like, man, it's just so silly. Mistakes. Mistakes leads to a lot of losses.
W1.
Yeah, brutal drop QUBT, brutal drop down 50. Nothing moving, nothing really looking good. SURG. We do have a bit of a topping wick here, and there's a red 5-minute candle, so my stop is very tight. And my tight stop, I've let go too wide. Not good. I told myself 01. I had 02, but well, to the depths with this one. It could bounce, but we are a little below the VWAP. Brother. We're in the slums today, in the slums. MSTZ, you know, still battling. From 74 back to 80. It's a pretty good move.
LDWY.
Ay, ay, ay. MSTZ curling up. I do like that SURG is back up. And maybe it's gonna go for high of day. What do you know? It does seem a little extended, so are we gonna get a bigger pullback, or can we hold tight? $39. The halt is at 49. I hope it gets halted up at this point. Halt now at 60. SURG, massive move here. And 68 to halt up. This buyer is big. I'm gonna try. You and it just seems so extended. There's a bid here, but it might get sold through. It looks like it will. And it's filled. Well, that kind of, just there were like two dips, maybe three, but they weren't super obvious based off the extension. That's what sometimes gets me with these stocks. We went from 190 up to like 230, and then we dipped from 230 to like 223. It just didn't feel safe. 250 dipped to what, or 24, like 245 dipped to 234. Didn't really feel super safe. Now when the dip actually comes, the move is over. It's too late. That's it. And it's pulling back into the new candle, which gives us a bit of a topping wick if it does drop hard. So hopefully just keeps holding up tight. MSTZ. Is moving up, trending up. Probably could have did something in that uptrend right there. Are we getting ready to see a Christmas tree, or can this thing hold up? MSTZ uptrend was probably the move to watch here instead, but SURG did give a good move, just not a lot of entries. The chart itself was good, but Big beam with big trades, riding the wave. Kidding me. I tried to go short. There's no shares available. Okay, let's go. Beam with some big trades there. Two. 91.5. Right now it's just going, it's not dipping. Gotta chase the entry. I gotta chase the entry. As crazy as that sounds. But 93, 93.10. 94. Come on. 95, 94.6, 94.8, 95. Dip, 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 dip. 93, 92. Man. Well, it's not the day for me. It would see him here. It's only 10:30 though. We can still get something else. MSTZ not making any progress. That beautiful move, man. So that longer hold time for sure helps out on this thing. Oh, can we? Can we keep pushing? Can we keep pushing? Hmm. What a day, man. What a slow day. Day still, yeah, and so I do believe the day is still young, man. I don't want to fall asleep here at all. Maybe time for Gen 1. Maybe time for Gen 1. Falling asleep.
ABW.
What's up? What's up?
Or to you, brother. You got this.
Which stock was that? Assaulted? SANW. We'll see if something else comes up. How are you doing so far? Are you able to get green, Enzo?
Yeah, I'm having actually a great day.
Way to go, man.
Thanks, brother.
when you're locking in a nice day on these slower days like this, it's a good sign. Good sign.
You think it's low? I think it's MSTZ, with a surprise big move.
Yeah, I guess I just haven't been watching at it in the right areas. I did think I could have done well, but I kind of watched SURG throughout most of this like big push that it gave. It was decent. It was decent for sure.
Yep, we may see a dollar break, man. Gotta get ready.
I was doing okay on MSTZ until I bought big going into the break of the dollar, and then it taught me a lesson about not expecting things.
Yeah, definitely gotta have the tight stop or appropriate stop, whichever makes sense. I'm red on it, so still trying to work my way up there.
My problem is I convinced myself that the tight stop was just a dip, and I needed to hold the dip. It was not the dip.
Yeah, you gotta always keep it in perspective for what the trade idea is and make sure you have that good risk to reward ratio as you're heading into the trade.
97 to 94, not terrible, but it's already back up. I just didn't want to hold it to see how low it was going to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a little active with the scalps here again and see if I have some better luck this time. Gotta lock in here.
SINW.
Nope. Oh, I did go. The moment those bids show up, you gotta jump in, man. That's crazy.
No, I find this area of consolidation very difficult, man. It's like a 50-50 sometimes. But when it starts pushing, man, it pushes hard.
CAT. AS.
So I'm staying out of the game here in the sidelines consolidation area.
Oh, come on. Could be the start of a new downtrend.
XCUR. SKK.
Big Steve, how are you doing today?
Big Steve, where's your mic, brother? Big Steve may be AFK.
BTRX.
Maybe he's in the middle of a trade.
BSAT.
Go get it, Big Steve.
Big Steve trades only last 2 seconds, man. If he was, he's already back out.
Yeah, right.
CRNC. I mean, every time I never really look at this one. Why would I deliberately not try to trade a stock? That doesn't make any sense. CRNC, let's split it up.
SKK.
Oh, I might have been missing this one, is what I've been doing.
SANW.
I think what happens, maybe I looked at it earlier and thought it was a high float stock or something. Like that's what the chart kind of looks like.
You hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been struggling on MSTZ. Just can't connect with it. It's
BTRX.
extremely difficult for me, but I'm small green, so I'm happy about that.
Yes, sir. As long as some of them, as long as the members here are holding it down, you know.
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling about the halt up on BDRX?
Check it out. Okay. Where's the volume? This could be good if there's good volume.
It had some sort of news this morning too. I guess it just didn't react until now.
All right, finally. Maybe time for me to get back green. Let me see. The only thing I don't like is that it's just, you know, it's kind of like the first candlestick, so I'm not sure how the spreads and how much volume we're going to get on the resumption. Those are the only two concerns. You know, like versus a stock that's a little bit more established that then gets halted up. By the way, Jimmy, your mic is on, just a heads up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not know. Sorry. Hey, what do you think about SKK? It's in a halt down on resumption.
Oh, this has been selling off. Wow.
Yeah, big
Honest,
time.
honestly, I might watch this one.
Yeah, so it hit the intraday high of day, then it went up to 1145. Then it kind of worked its way down, went up a couple times. It did hit high a day, intraday 3 times, and then it just sold off down to low a day. Then it went into this halt. So
SCUL.
I've got my eyes on this to see if it resumes up. I'll go off mute now. Thanks for catching me. I got a new setup here. I've got all these screens and yeah, and plus, the Pacific time waking up is really early, guys.
Yeah. I prefer that Pacific time. You get so much day once you're done trading.
I'm just so slaughtered with trying to learn this that I'm tired all the time, RT. It's hard to get 2 years in you when you're trying to do it in 60 days or in 6 months. It's just tough. But I'm built that way. I've always been this way, the type to try to get as much as possible in me to learn so I can become good. So I have no quit in me, but boy, it does take a pounding.
Pace yourself, man.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm old though. I'm 64. I'm gonna be in the grave pretty soon.
I don't say that. I remember, reminds me when I first started, I was going like I think I was doing like 10, 11 hours a day studying and
Yeah,
reviewing and
yeah,
YouTube videos and archives and whatever I could watch and
right. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm just, it's so new, 8 months or 10 months, whatever it's been, that I just want to try to get it in me. And it's hard to pace.
SKK
I'm retired.
resumption.
I'm retired too, so that helps not being doing other things outside of this.
SKK right here, SKK.
Okay, sorry. I'll go mute.
SKK.
Oh, the spreads are massive. Could have been a good. Oh, that could have been a great tip. Look at that. Maybe it would have been worth it. I mean, to get from 5, the other one is going to resume here too. By the way, in like
Thank you, Ati, for SKK.
BDRX is coming in a couple seconds. Here we go, BDRX.
BDRX.
Not a ton there. 42 to halt up. The lighter volume on these two, man. It's halting up again, 642. Hopefully we get a more liquid resumption this time.
BDRX.
It would have been nice to see SKK halt up at 660. So the dip was as 566, so it did a dollar share bounce, but there was a spread. I think I saw like 74 or 70 by like maybe like 99.
SKK.
So I'd have been in on the ask, and then the risk would have been, of course, the spread and then the halt down. So if we had a tighter spread below 6 or below 5, yeah, let's say below 6, I could have been in maybe like 680, 675, and then selling over the whole dollar, which instantly teleported to the halt up. But there was still a spread there, so I don't know where I've gotten filled. Ryan, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty good so far. Did well on works on the halt resumption. But since then, kind of just going sideways, maybe bleeding a little bit. I haven't been able to kind of get anything on MSTZ. It's just, it's like a different type of mover, it's an ETF. So good job for like Spartan and Beam doing well on it.
Yeah, I think in some areas they held just a little longer, try to get that bigger push. I couldn't make anything on that one for the areas I watched. By the way, the next call that we do with those guys, I'll add you.
I actually like MSTZ right here. I'm gonna start just like kind of adding slowly and try to see if I can catch a bottom. I'm just gonna hold it with like a stop. Like I might even put a hard stop in just to kind of force myself to hold a bit.
Watching BDRX for this second resumption here. Hopefully we can see something good. Dennis got the resumption. Nice. $59.43 resumption. $59.43.
SANW.
Got about a minute. Tim is locked in, man. Tim is like a sniper. Sits pretty still and is just, waiting for the target. BDRX coming up. $6.42. I'm just hoping we can see some better volume. Here we go. Mm, 10 minutes? Or is my math wrong? It looks like it's 10 minutes.
GLXG.
In a ghillie suit.
SKK.
Yeah, if Tim is to wear a Halloween costume, we know what he's wearing, man.
SAIH.
BDRX 10-minute halt. BDRX. BDRX. Someone is asking on the channel about margin and how much money they would need. So if your account is over 25,000, you'll have and I guess you'll have to like elect, so that way you can call in or maybe do it online on your broker software. But once you do have a margin account, you'll essentially have instant settlement, which means you can trade an unlimited amount of times, assuming, and it depends if you're at a commission based broker or a free commission broker. If you're at a commission broker, of course, you're gonna have to pay a fee to get in and out. But usually the trade-off there is that you get direct access routing, faster fills. And if you're at a free commission broker, the commissions are free, but the fills are more sloppy. But at Thinkorswim, the fills, we deal with the fills aren't bad, I guess. Fills aren't bad. Can I check my Discord DMs? I will at the end of the live stream. Unless you want the world to see your conversation with me here. Wait for the end of the stream. Resumption will be at 04 and 43 seconds. 2 minutes. Yeah, let me see what other questions we have here. Pacific time I like, yeah, once you're done trading, what is it, maybe like 8 a.m. and you have the rest of the day, you just have to go to sleep a little earlier. That's about it.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing for me is I've been used to going to sleep about 1 a.m., 12:30, 1 a.m., and I'm still doing that and getting up. Like today, I got up at 4:30, but I did go to sleep a little earlier, probably about 11 last night, 11:30. But man, I'm just getting like 3 to 4 hours of sleep. And it's just a pounding. Sometimes I have to just take the day off.
Yeah, I would recommend at
Yeah, I'd
least 7
recommend.
hours.
Yeah, I've never had 7. I've always been, 35 years in
6.
IT career, uh, probably 6, maybe 5.5, 6 hours of sleep a night. That's all I usually got.
Yeah, 6 is not bad. I think 6 is like bottom line. It's like good.
SKK.
Yeah.
BDRX, we got about a minute. Wait, did you move from Florida? I think you were in Florida, right, Jimmy?
No, I was in Ohio. I grew up in Ohio, then I moved to Texas, then I moved to California. I've been in California for about 25 years now.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
It's just expensive here. Gas is like 5.5, $6 a gallon, so it's crazy.
Yeah, man. California, New York, brutal.
You can buy a bag of groceries is $100.
We got less than 10 seconds. PDRX 642.
BDRX.
Oh, my fills.
GLXG.
There's a hidden seller at 7. Can we? It looks like it might sell off. It's not done yet. Over 7 should be good if it goes. It's battling.
SAIH.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll take it. I'm gonna watch it for another few more minutes just in case it gets back over 7. Almost got back to flat with that trade, but I don't think I got the best fills coming out. And the spreads did open up down at 7 versus like 736. Like an $800 difference there. The dips could work here, but I'm not super sure. We got a low around 30. VWAP is at 602.
GLXG.
Last halt up was at 42. Okay. Oh. I don't know how I didn't make money there. I got filled at 29. Wow, that is insanity. Oh my gosh. These stocks and me, it literally rarely comes down to fills most of the time. It's just insane. But anyhows, this one had a lighter volume. And this is what we've been seeing, it's kind of the new norm over the last few years. It's this widespread high volatility. So where you're in and out, it's a circus with these market orders. So all right, I think, unless this keeps going here, maybe it does. Okay, I'll keep watching.
What are you guys looking at? QUBT?
BDRX.
Oh. I see that
SKK.
BDRX. Did you guys buy that dip?
Yeah, I'm watching here.
I would have liked for it to bounce already, but it's not doing it. But it's also a good setup, so up.
SKK.
What the heck is the volume on this thing?
I know, right?
Okay. I'm gonna sell early just cause I don't know. Well, would have been better if I didn't say anything. Save myself the embarrassment. Nah, but it's still good. Let me see where my entries were there.
These fills are catastrophic.
I was in a 78, out 91. Whatever. Sure, on the dip wasn't even all that good either. 78 is pretty high.
Needs to hold up here. If not, it might just come down.
Under 650 could be a another solid setup. Oh man.
It held, and then there's also a bit of a spread there. It's tricky to get in.
GLXG.
Okay.
Did you get a good feel there?
I am, but I'm hoping I'm not stopping out here. Come on.
I didn't take it, so I'm just waiting.
SAMW.
Bad. Okay.
All
Okay.
down 613.
I'm sure it's probably gonna hold up there, but or never mind.
There's the hold down.
That's why you take the L. That is why you take the L's.
False halt. Oh
I'm
man.
a little bit skeptical of those false halts because they unhalt, but then they re-halt on the
Yeah.
halt that I've been seeing.
I don't even know if I want to trade this resumption because if the volume is so light and the spreads are wide, like it might not even, you got to factor in that fill, and then as well as like, yeah, the buying might not be there.
Yeah, it's true. There could be maybe like a resumption spike in volume, but other than that, you have a point.
I mean, SKK, look at SKK. Halted down, halted down, halted down. Hard to get that bounce.
Probably better
We'll
to be
see.
safe than sorry.
Maybe I'll take a small size.
If you look at it on the 5, it looks like it could create a decent setup. Just the only thing is that the market's already kind of like rolling over a little bit, I feel like in general, so I don't know if that's gonna be the case.
Yeah, I think maybe sub 6 could be good. Dip and then sell over 6.
Someone's asking what's my biggest winner and biggest loss. I think I got caught in halt down. I bought it. It was out of a halt up. It dipped so much. It dipped very close to the halt down, and I took the dip right above the halt down, and I got trapped in the halt down. The stock resumed like $2 a share lower, and I had about 1,800 shares.
SKK.
So I got blazed basically there, and then biggest winner I think was around like 3K on like either like a break of a whole dollar or something like that. Halt set up one of those types of trades. There are some breakouts that you take that you think the stock is just gonna go up 20 cents and then or 10 cents. You bought and then the stock is up $1, 15 cents, so those types of trades happen from time to time. There's that halt up trad.
That's what halted up?
SKK almost halted up there. What were you gonna say?
QUBT here for a break of 5.
QBT.
I don't know why I'm not seeing these on my scanner.
It's a larger float though. Hold on. Come on.
what I was gonna say is that what's interesting about biggest losses or biggest winners is that it's not that they're
SKK.
necessarily luck trades, but they're typically good trades that ended up making bigger moves than anticipated. You know what I'm saying? How you just basically said at the end, like you expect like a 20-cent move and the thing just explodes through a whole dollar and just maybe pins up to the next alt level on the next dollar. And obviously you can never predict, that type of movement, and then those tends to be your biggest winners, and then also the inverse on the biggest loss too.
SANW.
Agree. QUBT, nice breakout there. Over 5. Good call, Triad. Good call.
Sorry to have to ask you guys, but which stock is that?
QUBT.
QUBT. Okay.
BDRX resumption coming up as well.
Wow, that was super nice.
Yeah, QUBT was nice. Very nice.
Gonna be just as nice is the retest.
BDRX.
Wow, what a spread on this thing.
That spread, man. Nah, it's not for me. Have fun with that one.
What's that, BDRX?
Yeah, BDRX.
I was trying to see if we could get 570. But it already made the pop, so it's I'm looking at QUBT. Let's look at this one.
Yeah, the 5-minute candlestick is strong.
$5.05. I already missed a dip there.
It moves a little slower. Well, you did say it was a higher flow QUBT.
Spartan would say you got to clench those cheeks.
Yeah. You gotta put on your big boy pants. Come ready to the show.
GLXG.
5-minute candle has 30 seconds. Can we see a push? No, we will not see a push. That's the opposite there.
I just like that.
I might try again. Come on, come on, come on.
I don't know why I'm trading this thing right now. BDRX. Actually, never mind. I know why.
Oh, I
1 through
bought
6.
twice. What happened? Damn it. Oh, that sucks, man. I would have been selling right there 30. Can we keep going? I can't believe I don't know, sometimes I just don't hit my hotkey hard enough. And then like this morning I'm like dwindling and hit it twice by mistake.
You had like a hotkey error?
Yeah, I took way more size than I would have wanted to. And I ended up
Oh.
losing like, 1.5x. Part of the deal.
It happens. So, sometimes I think I need to get a new mouse because sometimes I click on the buy
SKK.
and it doesn't go. And same with, well, usually I use hotkeys to sell, but when it comes to the buying, I try to click sometimes, but there's something weird with my mouse that sometimes it just it doesn't click. I don't know, yeah, this is no good. I definitely need to fix that. BDRX was not a good idea.
Come on, bounce. Bounce like there's no tomorrow.
Hey, RT, when's your next house, trading house get
Um,
together?
it's gonna be sometime next year between like
Jesus Christ.
February and maybe between like February and April, sometime then.
Where's it going to be?
We're not sure yet. We should know in like the next 2 weeks' time.
Have you thought about maybe getting the whole community together?
Yeah, we wanted to do something in at the end of the summer here in New York, but we had to push it back.
Hmm.
We're gonna do like a multi-day seminar.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like some there's like back end things that people will never see kind of thing that we're working on
Right.
and that we're actually still working on. And it took us way more time than we would have anticipated.
How did
And
you guys get on? I saw a picture of you on the trading floor. How did you get on the trading floor?
so that was mostly networking. After hanging out
Mhm.
at one of the conference in Vegas, we met
Right.
some we met some really great guys at Velocity Clearing. Let's just say the broker's called Guardian, right? So we met up with those guys, and one thing led to another. We started to build a relationship, and their headquarters is right off Wall Street. So they told
Hmm.
us, hey, if you guys ever want to go check it out, they have access. And so we've been there, I believe, maybe twice, 3 times.
That's
So
pretty cool.
yeah, whenever we do the seminar, more than likely it's going to be in New York at this summer coming up. That's going to be something that we do, and hopefully we can get everybody that comes to go on the floor.
That's great. You gonna block off like a hotel for everyone, something like that, or is it just
I mean,
everyone fight for themselves, or what?
I mean, we'll see what makes the most sense at the time,
Yeah.
but it'll be like a fair system, of course.
Hmm.
The goal will be to get, especially if it's multi-day, like even if we can't go with everyone on the first day, let's say, because sometimes there may be like a limit as to how many people you can take on.
Yeah.
Then, over the next day, we try to get the second half.
GLXG.
Guardian is a smaller broker. They're direct access routing, and usually with smaller broker, you can get more of like a cheaper rate. Um, but they do have like we did encounter some small issues, like some bugs, like some of the members said. So we gave them like feedback, things like that. So hopefully over time the broker continues to get better and better. And, you know, for me personally, Thinkorswim, it just suits the strategy very well for now. But again, there are other things that we can continue to explore. Like right now, I see that for sub $1 stocks, like I don't know what it is, but even with my offsets, like I cannot get in and out properly in pre-market. So, maybe I utilize a direct access routing platform for certain specific things. And that's where these other platforms like that can come into place. And then those guys over there that we met, they were pretty great guys. I mean, they're awesome.
So you still stay in touch with them?
Oh yeah, yeah. I
That's
spoke to them
good,
like
yeah.
2 weeks ago. I was telling them I have to, because I had promised to take them. They took us to dinner actually at one point. I was telling them, we'll return the favor. And honestly, this actually brings something up in mind that I can do. Yeah, so I keep in touch with them. They're pretty good guys.
Or just have Tim fit the bill for the meal.
Oh yeah. Tim right now is using 5K size on BDRX, making big gains.
Wow.
If I had to
He's,
assume.
he's a beast.
Yeah, Tim is a legend, man. Tim, I mean, these guys that I admire the community, man. Even as the person who started everything, like I admire the community, even from the people with smaller size process over profits, and to the traders, the Tim, the Marcelo, all these guys, Calamity, we have Lucas, Jackson, I mean, so many others who are stepping it up. It's quite it's quite interesting. It's unbelievable, really. I mean, this is what we envisioned, but still seeing it in front of us is like surreal. So hopefully more people continue to become profitable over time, and the community just continues to build. And maybe the time does come in the future where we do contact like a resort somewhere in like Cancun, and like 50 of us. I mean, imagine how nice that would be.
Very nice.
And like 50 of us are there for like a week or something. I mean, it'll be
That would be
something.
beyond.
But it's funny because just like how we're talking about that potentially being a thing, that's how we were talking about what's happening now. So it's like nothing is impossible, really.
I can easily see that happening.
Yeah, it's very promising, joining a Discord like this, a group, a community, and then see so many people do well, even though us new guys that aren't doing so well in live. Simulator is so different. So I think I may have created a few bad habits in the simulator. So now that I'm in the live, I do see things a little differently. Um, it is what it is. But anyway, getting back to my point, I think it's fantastic to see you guys do so well, and it actually brings um, promising aspirations for me, which I really appreciate.
It's a process. It's not easy, but it's definitely possible. So I think this is where I might shut it down. I made back about 1K, but I'm still down 1,400, and that's primarily due to SPAI. I mentioned earlier that I got caught buying twice in an area, so I took on way more risk than I would have wanted to, like a hotkey error. And then I had a high fill in the resumption for the bounce, but all part of the deal. So I'll look forward to coming back tomorrow and having a nice day and try to finish out the week strong. So it's been a pleasure as usual for those of you who are here in the chat room. It's been a great talk. I do encourage more of you guys to, if you don't have a mic, to get one. And if you do have one, to never be afraid to join the conversation, right? I mean, we're just here, we're networking, we're talking. It doesn't have to always be super traded related, but if you do have any questions or concerns or anything, you can always, speak up. And other than that, just join the conversation, right? We're just a group of friends hanging out, pretty much. So yeah, take care, stay safe, stay great, and catch you guys later.
Later, RT.
Here, RT.
All right, those of you on YouTube, likewise, take care, stay safe, stay great. Let's see how the community did today. It was a bit of a choppier day, but I still think, this I'm just a little frustrated that I'm not flat, because like this, like there's no way I should have lost money here, but I did, so it's okay, it's fine. Like, I understand what this market is, so I've never let this type of thing bother me. Like, it's just some days it's almost like a formality, that, like, we spoke about luck, I think yesterday or the day before, and it's like there's just things that's gonna happen for you and against you. I accidentally bought twice. So you know what? On a different day, the stock right there would have just went right back up, and I had a really nice trade actually, right? But when things do go against you, we understand that the market has so many variables, and at times things will happen. So no problem.
GLXG.
So yeah, let's see how the chat did. Let's see here, because that was yesterday. We might need to go to single screen, honestly. Let's just take a quick look at a couple of P&Ls and then we'll shut it down. Nice. So there's some green there, there's some red here. Looks like net green overall. Let's see, Alexander. I'll come back to this question here in a sec. Let's just check out a couple of the P&Ls per se. And looks like it was a slower day for most people. You got Minty and Dynasty. They got it done on CDT. Getting it in, locking it in. Mighty. Small red for the Mighty here. Small red. D-Tex. Nick had a good day. Nick had a good day today. Let's see. What did he trade? MSTZ, getting it done there. And then WRX, getting it done on that one as well. So way to go. Shout out to Nick. BDRX, some small gains. Save, the monster. The money printer. Peak was 50K on MSTZ. So, MSTZ had opportunities. I think for me, ultimately, it would have been just watching at that one specifically and just only. I missed, if we were to pull it up here, I did miss some of the first move. And then likewise with the backs, the second move. So I came like here, not quite in rhythm. I just wasn't paying attention to it super closely. But I think sometimes for me, when I do have losses early, I kind of just don't give the stock the same attention, which is sometimes a little unfair to myself, because the stock was strong and for the most part, right? But throughout the bulk of this move, I'm watching this SURG, and this one did give a nice opportunities, but if you guys recall, I got stopped out here and we didn't really get a proper dip, just kept going. By the time this baby pullback came, it felt too extended. So that was from 10 to, I watched this one from like 10:20, 10:19 to about 10:27, which was not great for this this move here. So about 10:27 coming over, we're already up here, and then this thing just feels like it's a little extended, Save, the monster, $40,000. Can you guys believe that somebody made $40,000 today at 11:30 a.m. in just 2 hours? Does that seem real? For the people who are casual viewers that, maybe you're now coming across the market for the first time, what I'll say is that these results are not the typical results. If you start trading today, do not expect to be making any of these gains In fact, if you start trading today, expect to suffer, expect to see losses, red days, red weeks, red months, red year. And the key with all of this, right? Because remember, you're starting something new, you're not going to be good. Like it's so rare that you can just start something new that is so complicated like this, this field, and just be good right away. Like you'd be it'd be so unfair to yourself to come into the market with a lot of money, not knowing anything of what you're doing. And a lot of us, including myself, I fell victim to this. A lot of people fall victim to it because the markets are so easily accessible. Right here from our cell phone, right here from our cell phone. We can just download Robinhood. What are some of the popular apps? Webull, M1 Finance. Some people have Fidelity accounts and so forth and so forth. We can download these platforms and have the ability to buy and sell a stock as if we're someone who's working on the exchange, when it's completely different because that person on the exchange had years of schooling and examination and maybe even apprenticeship and working with people who knew what they were doing to build a skill. Whilst here we come, random guy, 30K on my Robinhood, I'm going to go turn this into millions. When we don't know nothing of anything, right? So when they say 9 out of 10 people fail, it makes complete sense. And like it makes sense, right? It just makes sense. In fact,
GLXG.
I mean, it makes a ton of sense, right? But from the people who are following something credible, who are following a strategy that works, who are listening to starting small, using a small cash account, utilizing just 1 or 10 shares, 5 shares, or using a simulator, practicing, and following something credible. I think the numbers are way more different. Like in terms of just profitability, is it still difficult? Of course it is. But at that point, you're going to stand a much better chance of being successful, right? So maybe instead of it being 9 out of 10, the numbers drop to maybe 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10. We don't track the performance of our students here because it's very difficult to do in terms of just like full transparency and having everyone's broker information and all these things. So it's very difficult to do something like that. But what we're seeing here is that a lot of our students are improving, right? And not everyone is big green right away, but it takes time. It's a process. And so you got to be careful if you're new to not fall victim to being aggressive right away. Just think of any other profession out there, CPAs, lawyers, doctors. When someone download Robinhood or E-Trade or whatever broker, and then they start with big size, is the equivalent of you saying, hey, I'm going to be a doctor. And then right here, right now, you walk into a hospital and you kick everyone out of the room and you try to perform the surgery. It's just impossible, right? You don't know what the security is going to have to come and move you out of the hospital. But in this space, there is no security. In a law firm, in a hospital, somebody's there to say, hey, you don't belong here. You have no experience. You have no credibility. Go back to school, go through the process, go to grad, undergrad, whatever, go to medical school, and then come back and perform. Instead, there's no one here but yourself. And if you are not seeing and understanding that you don't have the information and the skill necessary, then you're going to lose money. 100% chance of losing. So, it's when I first started, it is what it is, right? Like when I first started, I just was not even aware of just something so simple like that to save myself. My sibling and I, we came in Robinhood account, saved up our little 6K, just losing our money every day, lost like 5K at the end of it, right? Before we started trying to get a system in place. And a lot of that comes from, success stories that you hear of like people in the workplace. You might have a friend who bought Dogecoin, the guy did well. You might have a friend who bought Nvidia or Meta, or John at work got in on AMC early and John made 55,000, and so you're thinking to yourself, man, John, he's just a normal guy like me, right? And so then you go home, you download Robinhood, and then it's like, yeah, time to make money. My 40K savings, here we go. But it's like just all optimism and just no structure, which I fell victim to myself. So I'm not like talking down on anybody here, right? But if we're lucky enough to hear that information that I just said, which is why ultimately these live streams and these videos that we're all making here are valuable, because just that bit of information alone, if somebody is new and they are watching, that might have just saved that person 40 grand. It might not seem like they saved anything, but that's what information is ultimately. That's what information is. So that small piece of information might have just saved one person watching this video right now 40 grand from blowing up their account. Assuming they say, hey, you know what? This guy's making sense here. I'm going to proceed this thing with small size, take it slow, practice, improve. And, a guy like Save trading for 4 or 5 years, he has a high, risk tolerance. We've seen this guy have red days of like 20,000, but ultimately he's a monster trader. I think, Save is more public about his stuff, so he's not as private. So I'll say this, Save is on pace for a $500,000 month. Just this month. His results are not typical. I would not tell anybody to think that they can just make $500,000 in a month. This thing takes years, months, weeks, day in, day out. The trials and tribulations. He also had a period in time where he was sideways for like 4 or 5 months straight. I think he made a couple 100,000, like maybe like 300K if I remember the story right. And that was sideways for like 6 months. Can you imagine? Can you imagine these things as you're trading? You're a trader, so. But he stuck with it. He kept his discipline, and he kept working on being better. Each day he's striving until now. I mean, this type of money, even like I make decent money, right? But when I see this is pretty motivating, and it really goes to show you that there's still levels to this game, even right where we are here now, right? There's levels to this game, and for the people who are making, $50 a day, $100 a day, for the people who are break even, for the people who are red, utilize this as motivation, man, and encouragement, and that over time of you continuing to refine yourself and improving on the strategy you're trading, that there's the ceiling is nowhere in sight. Let's just put it like that. The ceiling is nowhere in sight. And for Save, man, I mean, $40,000 in a day, and on this month in particular, he's been doing this regularly. For a lot of people, this is like a small lottery. I mean, even for me, this is like, if I'm to be making $40,000 a day, it's way more than what I'm doing now, right? So, what do you do when you're making $40,000 a day? So
KK.
when I do an interview with Save, this is one of the questions I'm going to ask him. Like, hey, man, I know, because a lot of these guys, they're in the right headspace, right? They're going to diversify. They're going to, make sure their portfolios are looking good, retirement accounts. So I'm going to say, hey, Save, pass all of that good stuff. When you make 40 grand in a day, what are you doing? How do you enjoy your free time? Let me show you guys what car Save is driving. Save has a nice I don't know if he still has a Corvette. I don't know for sure, but this Porsche here in the back is his. You have Crispy that has a beautiful BMW M4 competition. For those of you who are into cars, right? Save has a GT3. So, he may be enjoying his gains in subtle ways. Right? So this is the goal for all of us, to one day be able to enjoy our gains in subtle ways. Some people are not into cars. Some people might be into boats. Some people might be into traveling and vacations, and you have Spartan that have the classic cars here, right? A little bit of a different taste in the cars. Right? Some trucks. Right? You got a nice, beautiful Infinity there. what is this, Chrysler? This looks beautiful, beautiful car. So, you know, different people have different things. Marcelo, this little guy loves camping. And so he got a big truck that he can use to go camping. Right? Oh, man. Shout out to the community, man. And look at this Audi here. Was this like a R8 or something? RX? I'm not even sure. I'm not, you know, I don't know everything about the cars, but, you know, someone here again, boats. Some people are interested in boats. So, you know, whatever it is, right? Some people might want, you know, some people are not into cars. They might want to travel, and, you know, this is what the market ultimately means. So even on a day like today where I'm red and I knew I could have done better, it's just motivation, man. Like this red day doesn't even matter. It doesn't mean nothing. Like this day means nothing in the grand scheme of what's to still come. So you have to keep that perspective, and this can help you out a lot with red days and days where you're struggling, because it's like right now we're just paying our tuition to get to that better outcome, that you know, that type of life where we're really living and reaping the ultimate benefits of trading. And for me, whilst I'm doing that now, each and every day, and I'll upload the trader view to show you guys how I'm doing. Each and every day, like I'm still seeing more and more opportunities to continue to grow and build and become a better version of myself. So let's see, we have to import for this week. Today's the 21st. We'll go ahead and do that. And I'll show you guys how my month has been going, how my year has been going. As you guys know, I'm very transparent. I'll go back from the 15th actually. I'll show you guys how the year's been going. You know, one of my siblings told me, if I learn how to trade, I will never have to work another day in my life. And the moment I went full time, right? The moment that I went full time, I've never looked back. Let's see here, documents. So I'll import to my software here, TraderView. Documents. Let's just grab that file we just saved. Import trades. And so this is loading up in the queue. We'll give it a sec. And I guess some of you guys will have the same question for me. Hey, Relentless, what are you doing when you're up big green? Like, you know, do you go out for a nice steak dinner? You know, I live pretty frugally. Like, honestly, like despite making all this money, like I haven't really, how do I put this? Let's just say I'm in the building stages of wealth. You know, there's people that'll say, well, you can die tomorrow. Well, if I die tomorrow, I'm gonna die tomorrow doing all the right set of things with my money. Right? I'm not gonna just live for tomorrow and then spend, you know, everything I make in one day the next day. Right? Delayed gratification. I have a dream, I have a plan, I have a goal. And right now I'm in the building stages of wealth, which means I am gonna treat myself and I am gonna have good balance, but I'm not gonna be wild with spending and just living a rock star lifestyle. Not to say that I'm living bad or anything, right? But I'm gonna take care of myself, but I'm not like spending crazy. So let's come over to the calendar now that the queue has been uploaded. So this is our performance by day. But yeah, in terms of just red or green days, we can zoom in here a little closer. This is January this year, and we started off the year with a really nice month. 3 red days, pretty solid, pretty steady. Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. Honestly, if every month is this smooth, you know, I mean, it'll be great, right? February came around. We had some really hot markets in February. I mean, this like it was insanity. My biggest green day here on the 12th, 26,000. Pretty impressive stuff. March, much of the same. We did have a couple of red days, but overall pretty good, and some bigger green days here, right? 11K right there, and I mean, sometimes it adds up pretty quickly when you get a couple of bigger green days, man. April, this is where things slowed down for me a little bit on the year. April, we had a great week one, and I was really looking forward to this month potentially being my best month ever. But after week one, market slowed down a little bit, and this is where you really have to then pride yourself on being steady and limiting the losses. And so even if you're not making money, can you at least break even and tread water until things pick back up? So I had a lot of trouble here, as you guys can see. Week 2, week 3, week 4, essentially sideways trading, right, for April. And then if we come on down to May, I had even more trouble. My first 2 weeks of May, and this time was so interesting because
GLXG.
the market was hot these 2 weeks the market was hot, but I mean sometimes there's certain things that can throw off the strategy, and the volatility again, and we kind of spoke about this a little bit today with some of the losses I took today, which was due to there being excessive volatility and spreads. And despite taking all the right trades I usually would take, I mean, I just got absolutely murdered. And I'm starting the month down 7,000, and I'm in an $8,000 drawdown at this time if you include the end of April. But we're resilient, we're relentless, we're limitless, and so we continue to push forward. I think around this time we had a few penny stocks as well that came, but we're starting to get ourselves on track. I remember this Thursday very specifically. I was struggling. This day was a really hot day, the 16th. So I was struggling, and I'm in a trader rehab, and I then tell myself, okay, the goal is to get green, get out, don't overtrade, just get green and get out. And I did exactly that. In quick and clean, and a freaking course. It's like when I finally submit to this trading rehab and just, the hottest set of stocks in the last 2 months are gonna come. literally, was it like around 11:30 that day? Man, like sometimes I tell you, that's what the market does to you, So, and maybe I'm overthinking it in that way. Let's not even say that. That's just what the market is, in a sense of anything can happen. It's not personal, so I shouldn't take it personal. And at the time, I kind of did. I'm like, dang you, man! You let me leave early, and then here you go with the hottest stock in the world. But it's not personal. It never was. It never will be. So it's just business. It's just what it is. It's good business, right? In fact, I was happy because at least the chat room was able to do well, and there was more than likely a new hot market to come. And so in the back half of the month, we went from red about 7,000, and we came out of the $8,000 drawdown in the next week, with some steady green days here, and we finished off the month in the positive. So you will be tested. You will be tested. June, decent month, just a few red days. Our green days, though, on this month weren't really big, and some of this might have been a lack of share size in some areas. I think I also suffered from a little bit of a burnout in the middle of the year. Like, sometimes for me, I become very mellow and passive when trading, and it's not always a good thing. On days where I'm supposed to walk away and keep things tight, it helps. But other times, it's just, pretty brutal. And these 2 red days here, very similar to today. Like most of my red days are like the same theme, which is that you come in and you just get tossed around and like on like very silly trades, I'd say, like trades that are normally great trades and like decent setups, you know, your risk is tight in the trade and everything, but then the stock just like teleports down a little bit. You might have gotten caught against the spread a few times. But you look back, even with size that's not like too big, you look back and it's like you're down. You're already down like 1,600. It's like, man, I took 3 trades. It's like, are you kidding me? You know, like the kind of thing that somebody would like roll their eyes at. And this is what these 2 days were, like similar to today as well. And look at this, right? This is $5,000 in just these 2 days. You know, imagine these days are like green 500, green 1K or something. It's like that alone is like a $6,000-7,000 turnaround, and the month is like a 18-20K month. You know, sometimes it's these small differences. So that was July, and then
SKK.
August we started off 4 red days in a row. But you know, this right here is also a good testament that, and I really admire Save's like calendar, because there's some traders, their calendars are just flawless green. But what Save shows me from like what I learned from watching at his calendar is that if you can be green every day, great. But even if you have a few red days sprinkled throughout your calendar, on the days where the momentum is really hot, can you really press and attack like there's no, like, you know, like no tomorrow? Then even with some red day sprinkle, you can still have a pretty good month. And for Save, his best month, which was last month, I think, or at least one of his best months, the first 2 weeks of the month, the guy is red like 40K, and then to end the month, he's green like 150K or whatever it was, like something crazy. So you know, even with red sprinkle, you can still, you know, have a decent month. And so August was a pretty decent month. The green days weren't really that big, you know. There's a couple of maybe, you know, 5K green day there. September, you know, a bit of a slower month. And October is where things really got hot, right? This red day stretch here wasn't good, and especially, you know, almost a 2K red day here. September, a little slower. October, I think this was one of my worst months, because whilst I was green, I mean, this month like pissed me off so much. Like, you know, I took a lot of great trades, but it's this thing where, you know, my hold time was a bit of an issue. I think I needed two things: a little bit more size and a bit of a longer hold time, and just, you know, those small tweaks. With those small tweaks, this month right here, you know, could have been, you know, much more. Also, like 3/4 of this month, or maybe even more, maybe the entire month, we also had sub $1 stocks. I wasn't even looking at them for the most part, right? I wasn't looking at them for the most part. And that wasn't good, because I left a bunch of opportunities on the table there. And on some of the expensive stocks that did do well, as mentioned, you know, needing more size and to holding a little longer, would have resulted in perhaps like a 60, 70, 80K month. You know, sometimes the adjustments are right there, but you have to be quick to make them, and then implement them, right? And I had a hard time making those adjustments. So the month, you know, ended up being a subpar month. This month right here, a bit of a stain on the year. I think every month there was something to do better and improve, but this month right here, you know, and there is some good here. There's a silver lining always, right? Which is that if your worst months and your fumble months can be a month where you still make money like this, because, you know, it's all relative. Whilst I would have wanted to be up 100 grand on the month, you know, $14,000 is still some good money to take away, right? There's a lot of people still doing their regular 9 to 5 jobs, and, you know, so you have to still be grateful. You still have to have perspective. it's like it's better than nothing, but okay, we know what we could have done, so we'll work towards improving. But I don't want to sound ungrateful for, the month that came, and then November we made the adjustments. We're like, hey, we're gonna take on these penny stocks. If they keep coming, we're gonna be like a maniac. And so far we're off to a good month here. So with today's red day, this will be the biggest red day of the month, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. We're gonna just keep pushing forward. And I wonder, I don't know if week 3 was this my best week ever. I think it was close to it. I think February, let's double check. So that's 45. February we had 46. And you can see this week was a little bit more inconsistent compared to November. The best week in November. I tell you, boy, I don't know what the hell was wrong with me. Like in this week, did you guys believe? Like I think I don't know. It was one of these. Like there's a few things, right? On 2 of these days, I left early. One of those days, I had a headache.
MCO.
The other one of those days, I was shoveling snow for the entire street here. Like I don't understand why I did that. Like like the market's too hot for me to be doing something so silly. Like as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, opportunity is going to cost, and sometimes you have to just even if you're a little tired of being in front of the screens, like you gotta have that determination, and you have to recognize that, hey, this current market is so hot that I should not and I will not move until 4 p.m. Like, what am I doing outside shoveling snow from 12 to 3? Like, and then not even shoveling my own snow, but then shoveling the community. And what would have been better to do is just hire somebody, right? This would have been cheaper for me to do. Hire somebody and stay in front of the screens for an extra 3 hours. Even if I paid for all the neighbors' houses, like the snow that I shoveled. Let's just say I spend 1K. Well, I could have made like another 30,000 or something, And then the other day I left with a headache, which was just quite silly because, take two Aleve or Tylenol or whatever brand you guys use. Take 2 pills, suck it up, keep trading, right? There's too much money to be leaving on the table here. Those are the only 2 things like I'm a little disappointed with in that week. And for sure, other than that, when you watch it back, it's like I sized down super early on most of the moves. And I mean, in some areas, it's like if you were to continue to be aggressive, it's like these days could have been like 70K days. I mean, especially like this one, but that 26K day could have been like a 70K day because when that stock, I think BMR and some of the other ones, HOLO, when those stocks got up to like $20, like the trades were just so smooth. Like everything was just so smooth. Like if we were to continue to just use like what was the size, like 3,500, I'd been making like 6,000 every trade because the dips would come like so predictable, so smooth, so clean. You're getting the fills, everything, and then stock bouncing $2-3 a share. But then I sized down from like 3K to 15 to then 1K to then just like 600 or something like that, whatever it was. And it's like you're only making 1K a trade when you could be making 9K a trade, 6K a trade. Like the share size is similar to compounding interest. A lot of people don't really realize that. Share size is very similar to compounding interest in the sense that your money will be exponential, right? Like you might think if you use 1K shares versus 3K shares, the same exact fills, the same exact entries, that you'll just be up 3 times more. No, 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 no. That's that, especially not when you're buying twice and 3 times in those areas. Because some trades you're adding things like that, you go up to 2K. That 2K would have then been 6K, or that 3K would have been 9K. But you definitely have to have the risk appetite as well. And you can definitely do well. But that's gonna be the day for me. So it's been a great year. It's been our best year ever. If we're to check year to date here, every year we've been improving, and that's been the goal, right? Progress, slow and steady progress, day in, day out. Slow and steady progress.
SKK.
Slow and steady progress. Slow and steady progress. Day in, day out. Slow and steady progress.
QMCO.
And right here is a good testament to what the strategy really is. There's 161 winning days to 65 losing days. Even more so, a little more than we would have wanted. But there's $356,000 in gains versus $58,000 in losses. So for the average person watching on that don't really understand the strategy, like I get it. Like you could watch me at a glance and really think, yeah, this just looks like gambling. Like this is just straight gambling. This none of this makes any sense. Right? I mean I get it. Like if you're really not super in tune with what the strategy is, but when you look at this, you can't tell me nothing about gambling. I don't even want to hear the word gambling in anybody's mind. They shouldn't even think about it. This is impossible to be gambling. It's too consistent to be gambling. This is what you call strategy. Strategy working well, right? Forget the gambling mindset and gambling talks. It's all about strategy. And I could never find a section that shows you your calendar. I wonder if I maybe come out of this and then let's see, year, month, day. Is it here? Okay, there we go. So here's our performance by each year we started to trade. Right, so we went in our live account May 1st, 2020, about $14,000. And this is me in May 1st, 2020. I started off with a balance of negative 25,000 because someone coming from nothing and not having anybody I know that I could borrow money from, to borrow money like from the banks and these type of things. So I had to borrow like 25 grand with interest. I got some money from one of my siblings, but he also borrowed that money from the bank. So it was like still just debt. But I was confident because I was practicing the strategy, right, for like 2 years, essentially. So you can say I've been trading since like 2019 to like end of 2018. Like 2018, my trading was pretty spotty. Like I was like Robinhood and like I wouldn't really consider it real trading. I was still in school. I remember stocks like APOP, MYOS, seeing those stocks on Robinhood, but I think June of 2018 is where I might have downloaded E-Trade and started trying to take it more serious. But even then, like I didn't even know what a cash account was. I was trading 3 trades every 5 days. Like I don't even know how to count that as like practice. I went into the sim in 2019, I think, the beginning of 2019, and 1 full year in the sim, and then a few months leading up to May. So a year and like 4 months in the simulator, and then going live and taking on that loan. You know, for people like everybody's coming from a different place. So some people might be able to relate to this, others might not. I don't know, but I was coming from the negatives, man, the slums. The environment that I was around at the time, not suited for any of this. Just a disaster, man. So it's great to see this progress here over the years. It's a miracle. Right now we're definitely defying gravity and doing something that is somewhat impossible, really, for the circumstances that we're coming from. So, don't think for 1 second that even though every day sometimes I'm complaining about the fills and this and that, don't think for 1 second that I'm not grateful here for trading and for the strategy and to be able to show up every day and make some money, from the markets. 2020, 2019, 2021, and I think I didn't even pay back my loan because
SKK.
when I made the money, I did something else that I thought would have been better than paying back the loan. And then, I still had the loan. I had my interest payments were hitting and they were hitting big. And so,
MCO.
having the other income at Amazon at the time was good. And then I think we left Amazon in 22, April of 22. And around, I think I paid off all my debts. It's hard to remember. Maybe like February of 2022. I remember talking to one of my friends at the time, and it's like, man, I'm finally at a zero net worth rather than negative. Like, and at the time I was still like pretty frustrated because it's like you're working hard, you're working Amazon, you're doing all this stuff, and it's like, damn, like all of this to just be at freaking zero. But it's like, okay, most of the riskier part is over, and like now we can start trying to pull away. Now we can start really like we don't have to be as safe about our trading. We're gaining more experience, we're gaining more confidence. Now we can put a little bit more risk behind our trades. We don't have to worry about blowing up an account, because that was always like a risk. Like, if I take too much size and I lose like 10 grand in one trade or something, if the stock just teleports down in a good area, man, it would be like a crushing blow. So just sticking it out slowly, like just slowly grinding up slowly. So this is why I'm telling people now, like, there is no rush. Slowest is the fastest way. You don't need to start today and then make 1 million today. I mean, if it happens, great, but if we can really put in the time necessary, we can continue to become our best selves, become more refined, be more consistent with the strategy, and then into 2023, we started to pull away a little bit. We had an amazing year doing $176,000. And it's so interesting because we have conversations with ourselves. We have conversations with the team. And I remember in 2022, we had a conversation in our Discord. A couple of notable traders that were there, Twin, pre-market trader, a few others, Marcelo, myself. And we were talking about if 100K was a lot of money. And it's funny enough because in 2022, October, we also had this conversation in our first ever team house with Crispy, right? And some of the other guys. And both of the conversations went pretty similar, which was, is $100,000 a lot of money? And it really and truly boils down to perspective. It boils down to goals, perspective, your dreams, your ambitions, what you see yourself doing, what you deem as success, what you deem as comfortable. All these different factors come into play. Because you can ask me a few years ago if 100K was a lot of money. You can ask me now, you'll have two different answers. You can ask one person and a different person, and you can get two different answers. And this example here is very, 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 way out there. But you go to a guy like Elon Musk, and tell him, hey, tomorrow, starting tomorrow, you're gonna just be 100K a year salary. It's like for someone, I mean, this is someone who has billions of dollars. He wouldn't even be able to comprehend what that means anymore, for what he's doing now and his goals and his dreams. This guy wants to go to the moon and Mars and create a colony on Mars. And if you're to tell him Tesla and all his companies and everything will only equate to 100 grand a year, he will lose his mind, right? And that's an extreme example. He's a multi-billionaire. But that I think that it applies because it shows you perspective, right? I mean, it's pretty extreme perspective, but now flip the script and you go to somebody making 30K a year right now, especially living in a coastal state, doing whatever job they're doing, whatever work they're doing, or you can even take like someone who just immigrated to the country and is working like a lower tier job, getting paid very little, and you ask that person, hey, stop what you're doing now to make 100K a year, it's gonna mean the world. It's gonna mean everything, right? So perspective matters in terms of what someone can think. And there are people who their income might not be high, but they're very financially aware, and they understand these high inflation times especially. And like for me right now, 100 grand might as well be nothing, man. So this is why I need to make a million, $10 million a year, because I have very grand goals. So I continue to utilize these guys here as motivation and encouragement. So upwards and onwards, right? And success comes in so many different ways. In this field, in this space, I do not set monetary goals. I have no monetary goal. My only goal is to continue to be my best self. And as of today, as of today and making around 300,000 on a year, I've lived this life, I've experienced the year, I saw how everything played out, and I could say that if I was a better version of myself, my gains could have been tripled, quadrupled, even more on the year, if I'm to be a better version of myself. Now, in terms of this uptrend, it doesn't necessarily mean that my P&L will have to uptrend forever. But for how I see how everything is playing out, can I continue to be the best version of me to where I dominate and capitalize the opportunity with more efficiency? If that continues to happen, which I think it will, we should have no problem making more money. That like the money is going to be a byproduct of us being a better version of ourselves, which is why my goal is not monetarily, but progress. Progress is my only goal here in this space. Can I be a better version of myself? Time and time again until there is no more room for refinement. That's the goal, right? That's the goal. That is the goal. That is the goal. That is the goal. So it's been the year. It's been a pretty decent year. Our best 2 months here, around $70,000, man. And also with the market, I'll say this, right now I'm in the building stages of wealth. I enjoy what I do here, trading every day. I really and truly don't like to take days off unless it's necessary, unless you're really like burned out or you're going through some sort of emotional something, because things do happen outside of trading, right? I don't love to take days off because I then see it as, hey, this is just going to be one day longer till I get to my goal. It has to be strategic. Like, I'm taking off this week because I think by resting and recovering and recouping, I can then perform even better moving forward. Maybe I'm burned out, whatever it is. Something strategic like that makes a lot of sense. But vacation and these type of things to keep yourself fresh, those things make sense. Well, for me to just say, hey, I'm taking off tomorrow just because I can, I think would be pretty silly, right? Like taking off an entire month, things like that. it's like, imagine you take off entire February and then it's like, we don't want FOMO. We don't want to become a slave to the markets. We don't want FOMO or anything like that to dictate who we are and what we can do. But for me personally, I'm in the building stages of wealth, and the higher my income can be in this stage, the better it will be for me ultimately to get to all of my goals and ambitions. So, I'm just going to continue to trade and continue to be disciplined and continue to be relentless. It doesn't matter who thinks what. Like, some people are saying like some people say, hey, be very quiet about your goals. Don't let nobody know what you're doing. Bro, for me, man, I don't care I don't care who thinks that them hearing my goals can affect any. Bro, I'm like afraid. I'm an unstoppable train that's coming, and there's nothing that any bad intentions, anybody who's like a hater or any, that stuff means nothing to me, man. We're just gonna keep going, and that's just the bottom line. That's just the bottom line of what this is. We were relentless for a reason, and we're gonna stay that way. Doesn't matter who thinks what, who feels what. We're gonna continue to put out good energy, stay positive, and we're just gonna keep winning. So I encourage everybody who's here to, continue to stay on the path of greatness. Let's continue to be good individuals in and outside of the markets. Trading is not easy. These results are not typical, but as entrepreneurs, the biggest thing that we do have going for us is knowing that it can be done. So let's continue to push each other and utilize each other's motivation. Stay safe, stay green. The Cash Store is signing out. Catch you guys in the next one. Check out those links down below if you are interested in the scanning software I use, the chat room that we have, and our course website. All right, you guys can always check out the Merciless Markets here if you're interested in getting started. You guys can utilize coupon code Black Friday. For Momo Pro, our scanning software, you guys can utilize coupon code Relentless, 25% off for 6 months. All right. There's a lot of opportunities in the market, and I think this is the place to be ultimately. The opportunities are here. It's a matter of figuring out a good strategy and being consistent, improving on ourselves. But man, I mean, the gains that can be made. I mean, the losses too. The losses are part of it, but being consistent with it, is just something else. Here's Beam, one of the students, up $7,000 today. Again, these results are not typical. Lucas, 13,000. Even on a day where I ended red, you have so many people who still did well, which is so motivating, right? So utilize all of this as encouragement, and tomorrow we go again. Tomorrow another beautiful day. Gus had some trouble as well today. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be shining bright. Catch you guys in the next one.
SKK.
Yeah, I'll check out the DMs. All right, take care, guys. Stay safe, stay green.